Adaptability is key. Hear me out on this, because I think I've accumulated enough experience over the last 20 years on the racetracks to say that in karting, adaptability is a huge factor. The first reason is that anytime you go on the track is feeling a little bit different than when you left it. There's not a single session that is exactly the same as the other across the race weekend. Let's say we start to drive on a Wednesday for WSK weekend. We have 4 sessions on Wednesday, 4 sessions on Thursday, Friday 2 sessions, Saturday heats, Sunday super heat final. You'll see that any session, the track will be slightly different from the other. Like if you go and look at the lap times, it's gonna be like progressively going up, like getting better, and they go down like that, and qualifying, and it's going a little bit down after the heats, and they go to the final. There's so much track evolution through this weekend, and that requires massive adaptability from your side. Normally, when the weekend starts, the track is a bit green, unless there was a huge amount of testing being done from drivers in the weekend before, which normally is the case for like CIK, FIA races, or KOTF, Champions of the Future, or WSK. Normally you arrive on the first day of testing on Wednesday or Thursday, that there is a lot of grip already. The track is not green, but it's still greener, let's say less grippy than what you will find in quali. Because normally every session people will be driving on. And so that's when, it's going to be important from the driver to push the braking points, to go in a bit deeper, to go in a bit fast into the corners, and also tweak a little bit the setup, and also adapt, not just from the driver but also from the setup. By going into quali or the session before quali, the track is massively improved. Sometimes from the first session on Wednesday to Friday you will have like alpha second, sometimes 1 second, sometimes even more, sometimes less. That's one of the things. Over the weekend the track evolution is huge. And after quali, the track may start to get worse because nobody's putting your tires. You'll have to readjust the setups a bit, as well as your driving. You may not have to go so quick into the corners. You may have to bring a little bit less speed into the corners. But there's other things. For example, sometimes you have to change the setup based on the track conditions. There may be some situations when you have not enough difference in track condition that they will not require so much setup tuning. But the problem is that, so you're trying to tune something for something, as I said, that it's moving. Let's say I come out of the first heat, I'm like, a little bit sliding, tweak it, but not for this one. I have to tweak for the next one where the tires are going to go down even more. But maybe the conditions of the track would be better because it will be a little bit colder and so less overheating. So it's like you have to consider a few conditions. The point being is that you have to be adaptable when you're on the kart. Your butt is on the ground, you're on the grid. Okay, now it's up to me. And if you go and you see after the first 2 laps, it's sliding around, or I have no front, I have no rear. It's you in the kart. That's it. You don't have to drive and be like, this car is so bad. You have to adapt. Period. I don't care about you coming back out and be like, the car was sliding. It will not be perfect for anyone. It's so hard in karting to anticipate the track conditions, because in karting you have the thing that when you get a lot of rubber, sometimes you get faster and faster, but then you start to slide on the rubber. In cars, I notice it's more predictable, because in cars you're like sliding, and then the more you drive, the more grip comes, and the grip normally comes more on the rear and the front. So you start with oversteer, and you arrive at the end of the weekend, you have understeer, unless you change the setup. But you're gonna adjust a bit. But the teams are not able to predict that perfectly. So you can't really touch anything for the race. So you have to kind of adapt. Same as in karting. You go out and you are on the ground, and that's it. I gotta adapt. The car is not enough front. I need to generate the rotation in other ways. On the brakes, by carrying a lot of speed, by waiting a bit to go on the gas, or generating the throttle with the rotation. I have not enough rear. I can't try to be smoother with my driving. I try to maybe lean a bit more in the back, try to put a little bit more weight in the back. I don't have enough rear. Okay, then I would do the opposite. I try to drive a bit harder into the corners, try to do more weight transfer to get a little bit more of rotation of the rear. This is the adaptability I talk about. You cannot expect to have the car being perfect every single time you got on track. It's not possible. If you have the car being 100% perfect in one session of the whole weekend, that's gold. But it never will be for the whole weekend. It will maybe be at 95%, 90%. But you are the driver, and you have to figure out a way to still drive fast within the same tenth, or maybe 1/10 slower only, with a car that is not perfect. You got to adapt because the conditions change. The temperatures start to drop, with a little bit of drizzle on the track, a bit of rain. Here with my car, nothing can be changed. I'm pushing 5 laps left. I'm going to adapt my driving. I try to use my eyes and see which corners it's raining the most. And I try to brake a bit early. Okay, I have to be a bit more careful. As well in the wet. In the wet, you have to have so much adaptability. It's crazy because the track changes from session to session, even more in the wet. You need to place maybe The tires a little bit more in, a little bit more out, brake a bit late, a bit early, gas a bit earlier, gas a bit later, shifting a bit early, shifting a bit later. There's a bunch of different things, but it all comes down to adaptability. One of the key skills driver needs to have is adaptability. If you don't have adaptability, very hard for you. You can be fast, you can set pole positions, but you will not be a complete 360 degrees driver. Work on that. Sometimes go out there. The car is not perfect. Find a way to adapt to it. Just go out, do laps in the testing and try to adapt to this. A lot of oversteer, a lot of understeer, adapt to this. Normally, I prefer to have a bit of oversteer and understeer because on oversteer, you can control it. Steer, when you have too much understeer, you're done. It's like there's not too much. You can generate more rotation, but you have to drive like a pig at some point. If you have too much under rotation, you have to have too much understeer. So normally I prefer to be a little bit on the oversteer side and on the understeer side. I wish you push yourself, push your limits, get more adaptable, and you'll see that becoming more adaptable will make a massive difference in your driving. And of course, it takes time. And your race results are going to thank you for that. But yeah, adaptability is key. Work on it, double down on it, and let me know how it goes.
If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you check this other recommended video below or watch the whole Driving Hacks playlist.